Hey, everybody on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about my experience after watching Loki episode 6. So, spoilers if I spoil anything. I'm trying not to spoil anything, but just in case, you've been warned. But what's this spoiler thing anyways? You guys really want to know. I mean, because I watched those other videos out there. New rock stars. The production quality is probably a little bit better than my setup here. I'm still kind of working on the production, and others. I love watching those. I love trying to come up with different theories. And if you've watched all those, theories and what might happen, well, then you know what's going to happen. So why watch the show? Why do we see? I mean, I watch those things as much as everybody else does. But I was still anxious to watch Loki episode 6. And I was not disappointed. Even though I had an idea of where it was going to go. Because Loki has to set up No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. So you knew something was going to happen with the Sacred Timeline, just so we can have Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. You know something was going to happen. But you don't know how it's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, but you don't know how. And that's the thing. It's all about the journey. And the cinematics of this is just like awesome. Particularly the beginning. I love how they began Loki episode 6. It was an awesome beginning how they, it's kind of like Doctor Who-ish. Not without being Doctor Who, because I don't think they could actually do the same thing, because, not just a copy of that, but they want to be their own thing, and this is definitely so much better than the current Doctor Who, which hopefully Doctor Who will actually get a clue. But yeah, the cinematics are just awesome in this. Didn't really notice the music. Well, I mean, there was. Just noticed the ending music, because the music of the episodes 1 through 6 have always been awesome, and they added to the emotion of it. So also, if you've watched all those other shows like I have, you know who the big bad is, because those shows, particularly New Rockstars, mentioned that as a possibility, and all the clues are in there. So you know how or who it is, but again, you don't know how it would happen. And see, one of the things I like about the Marvel writers, okay, they know all this is going on, okay, that people speculate about the movies and theorize about the movies, and it gets people excited about the movies. So they bring that into their writing, and they definitely broke the fourth wall without, you don't notice they break the fourth wall until they actually broke it, and it's just like, yes, and it's how the Marvel writers were including us, the biggest fans of the Marvel Universe. And that final thing where the timeline was like exploding, the cinematics of that, you have got to see it. And if you probably want to watch that on a bigger screen. I watched it on this little cell phone because that's all I have. I mean, I got a TV at home, but it's not an internet TV. But if I had a little bit bigger screen, my experience would be that much better. But it was still awesome because I love the journey. I love how he got there, and that's the point. That's the reason to watch this. How do we get to the end? And we also know there is going to be a season 2, because that was, even before this first season started, they said that yes, there's going to be a season 2. So, yes, and there has to be. And through some of the things that happened at the very end, which I'm not going to spoil because that is part of the journey. Because you definitely, if you've watched Loki episode 6 up to this point, you want to continue into the journey. Yes, certain things are going to happen, and you saw Lamentus 1. You know what the Nexus event was in that. And so you can't have that type of tension, coming up. Again, it was good, the way they did that. How they freed up that tension between Loki and Sylvia. Again, you knew this was going to happen. You just don't know how. And that's the thing. That's the whole point of this episode. You know what's going to happen. You just don't know how. Because it's all about the journey. And that's why we watch stories, We know, or we hope certain things are going to happen. And we watch these stories to, see that we're right. But if we're wrong, we also like it too. Because it's like, especially if it's a good journey up to that point. Because we all learn from story. It's the story in our lives. It's the stories we see on TV, the stories we hear on audiobooks and podcasts and YouTube channels. It's that story. It's, why we like social media too. Because social media is a story too. Even though they try and control the narrative, and we know, and I think they know that's not going to happen. But we still participate in social media because it's all about the story. Because there's bigger things in life going on. Just like Loki episode 6. And I can't wait for season 2, but I also can't wait for No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And I don't know how, because there's supposed to be an Eternals. I don't know how that's going to play into this. I have no idea how. But I can't wait. I can't wait to continue the journey. Because that's how we learn. We learn through story. I will be writing about this in my other podcast that you can find over at robertg.blogspot.com. It's just total writing and poetry and stuff like that. And if you're interested in that, you can watch that. If not, well, that's fine too. Anyways. So I can't wait. It's everything that Loki episode 6 is everything you thought would happen, but you don't know how it'll happen. And that's all about the journey. And I hope I didn't spoil that journey for you, because it's an awesome, awesome journey. I mean, the cinematics were awesome. The music were awesome. The character evolution, Loki and Sylvia and Morpheus and Renslayer, you know, how their characters, and there's also something with Renslayer too that we discover. The pens were the clue. Again, it's all part of the journey. And particularly at the very, very end, oh man. Oh, yes, we know the timeline's going to explode, but the very, very ending, after it explodes, some of the chaos that happened, oh man. Oh. Awesome. And I don't want to spoil that. And I won't. Because you don't want it spoiled. But you listen to these things, like I do, for validation. If it's worth our effort. If it's worth our effort to continue the journey. And it's always worth our effort to continue the journey. So I hope you continue your journey. Enjoy episode 6, Loki, and all the other stories that you like to listen to. And there's like an awesome, I don't know if you've read or listened to the audiobooks, but there is Magitech Chronicles, and then there's Magitech Chronicles The Legacy. It is fantasy. They got spell rifles in there. Spell blades, Magitech, magical technology. It's awesome. Chris Fox, awesome writer. He writes at least 5,000 words a day. That's like 50 times more than I do. I only do like maybe 500 words a day. So he's a really mad writer, and he probably writes more than 5,000 words. I wouldn't doubt it. But it's, just writing that many words for a writer, that's quite, and his products are awesome. He has learned quite a bit, as you can check out on his YouTube channel. I think it's Chris Fox Reads. Just put Chris Fox in the Magitech Chronicles and you'll come up with him. Anyways, I highly recommend those books if you like fantasy. It's the new Star Wars, because Star Wars is fantasy. Technically, because you got the Force. That's the magic source. So anyways, thank you for watching. Stay creative in the magic of life. And remember, it's all about the journey. Enjoy your journey. And thank you for watching.